pretty sure you recognize this automobile. It's Honda's BRV, a very popular 7-seater automobile from Honda. In fact, so popular that they sold over 2,000 of these guys last year. And then this year for 2022, from the months of January just to September, they sold even more than what they did last year. Now, it is one of two 7-seaters that Honda currently sells in the Philippines. The other one obviously would be the CRV, but that is obviously the more affordable one. And today I'm going to introduce you to the all-new BRV, the 2022 model, which was introduced in PIMS. Now, we did a small little, shall we say, showcase on it, which really wasn't much because there was a lot of people, but we did want to show that it was definitely being featured and it was going to come out. And today is the day. It's coming out today as of launch of this video right now. On this walk around, I'm going to be able to tell you some of the differences from the previous generation and what is available now in the 2022 model, and I'll also be able to give you the prices, one of the more important things of this video. Let's start with the design on the exterior, which is just straight out. This is the top of the line VX. That over there is the V, second in line. Right here is the S. And there's one more model, which is not available right now, but it is the S manual transmission. So there are 4 models available, variants rather available. And obviously, the most affordable would be the S manual transmission. But across the line, you will get LED headlamps and fog lamps as well. The only difference obviously in the exterior for just the front clip would be that you get different tones and hues on the front clip of the VX compared to the S and the V. For instance, on the VX you get a glossy black grille. Here you get a matte grille. And at the same time, the chin here is at a different color. Over here it's black, closer to it being body color. But the lights, I tell you, the technology of the lights is exactly the same. The same too is what's underneath. Okay, so the previous generation was a single overhead cam. Now you've got a double overhead cam underneath, which is to say that it's a 4-cylinder gasoline-powered engine that produces 119 horses and 145 Newton meters of torque. Now, if those figures sound familiar, it's because that engine is actually that of the Honda City. And funny enough, the Honda City has paddle shifters. The VX does have paddle shifters as well. Now, the total weight of the automobile is 1,300 kilograms. Now, that's for the VX, and then obviously it diminishes as you go down the model line, or rather the variant line. Like, for instance, the V is like 1,290 kilograms, and the S is 1,260 kilograms, and so on and so forth, right? So I figure the one that has the best fuel economy must be the S, because it is the lightest and it carries the same engine as everybody else. Although we can't tell you right now what the fuel figures are, but hopefully we will be able to do that on a proper review on Behind the Wheel, which we hope to get sometime very, very soon. So let's continue with the exterior. Let's stay with the VX, shall we? On the VX, you'll see that there is a cut from the headlamp that stretches all the way to the rear. It's like light to light, which is quite awesome because compared to the previous one, it was more angled and it didn't look like it knew where to start or end or whatnot. Here it looks very neat, very clean. This is a total of 207 millimeters of ground clearance, which obviously is the same all around, as too with the wheels for all the CVTs, mind you. They're all on 17s. It's only the S that carries 16-inch wheels. But even at 16, that's actually still pretty amazing, don't you think? So 17s all around. And obviously the differences between the variants would be chrome garnishes and then body colors that you will find on different parts of the automobile. The VX, however, I gotta tell you, you'll notice that it's the only one with a camera on the side. Now, this is because the VX is the only one that carries Honda Sensing. So, because of that, then you should expect a premium from this automobile in price, which we'll get to a little bit later. Let's go to the rear, shall we? Not just the engine being similar to that of the City, but so are the taillights. It was actually Joey that noticed this. If you ever see, I'm sure we'll do it right now. We'll show you a picture of the taillights of the City and then bring you back to the taillights of the BRV. And it's actually very similar because it's got the same Z pattern that comes down and then comes back up again. I'm not saying that it's bad that it has the exact same lights as the City. It's just, I noticed it and Joey did too. And it actually looks very good on the BRV. When you open her up with the third row in play, there's definitely enough space here for overnight luggage, maybe a collapsed wheelchair. I'm not sure if this thing will close, but definitely one or even two overnight luggages. And then if you need more space, the false bottom kind of folds down on you, and so on and so forth. We don't have the exact figures of just exactly how big the rear compartment is, but I'm pretty sure that you should be able to, at the very least, fit maybe a balikbayan box and a half, maybe even two balikbayan boxes in here with the second row in play. What that measurement is exactly, we'll be able to get it to you when we do a proper behind the wheel on this automobile, which we hope will come very, very soon. Now, let's move on to the interior of the automobile. For this, we're going to stick with the VX and show you what that is available. And then from memory, I'll just tell you what it is that the other automobiles have that this, no, what the other automobiles don't have that this has. Is that saying it right? Yeah, it sounds like I said that right. Access to the third row is actually quite easy, done by a tumbling seat. And then these guys obviously just easily fold up. Now, there is space, more space to be had if the second row decides to slide forward, which it can. And then these guys could be able to recline back. Oh, thank goodness, that's a little bit more. Seats for two regular sized adults, regular to small actually. Comfortable, yes they are, because the leather seats feel firm and good when you sit down. The leather seats are available for the VX and the V. Then everybody else, like the S and then the manual transmission, get cloth seats. But these leather seats, they're obviously not premium leather, but they feel still very good, as Honda actually does have pretty good leather inside their automobiles. Back here you get sort of like, well, this isn't much, but it feels like it's like a pencil holder at most. Oh my God, that shows my age. And then a ball holder on either side with a 12-volt socket found here. Can you see that, Jack? There you go. A 12-volt socket. Also, because the VX is the only one with Honda sensing, there's actually side curtain airbags to be found here and here. So all 7 passengers inside this automobile are actually pretty darn safe. Let's move on to the second row. In the second row, easily get to it by unfolding this guy and popping this guy up. Jack, excuse me, I'm gonna put this guy up. There we go. Oh my, that needs some fixing, doesn't it? The leather theme or motif continues here in the second row. And like I said, just like the rear, it's actually quite comfortable with the center armrest. You actually feel like a king. You sit very straight up because the seats are quite high, and so your legs can come down straight. But even though that you are seated quite high, the roof is actually still pretty high. The headroom is actually quite good. The legroom is quite good as well. This is, if I'm not mistaken, is this as far back as this can go? Yeah, we are as far back as we can go. This is in the middle of my driving position and Jack's driving position. If it was my driving position, it would move a little bit more forward. But even in the middle, still a lot of room. Decent. A third passenger wouldn't be an issue either because there is a tunnel, but it's actually quite low. No air vents found down here because, like a BRV, all the air vents are obviously found up on top. This is standard throughout all the models. So is too the power outlet found here below. I will tell you though that in all the other models, apart from the VX, the variants rather, they all have 4 speakers. It's only the VX that has 8 speakers. So basically this car is bumabayo. Do people even still use that term? Nobody uses that term anymore. No, sorry. That is definitely showing my age. Then on the doors, I don't know if you can see this, there's some soft touches there. Here, I'll bring it close to you. Soft touches there, a nice little accent piece right there, and then of course bottle holders on either side. So, and the door is pretty big. Look at the size of this window. It's huge. Look at that. I could have used if this thing opened a little bit more, but yeah, that window is, it's huge. Okay, we get to the business end of things. And the first thing I gotta tell you is that the differences between the VX and the V and the S and so on and so forth is the most premium thing that will be different will be the soft touch leather that you will find on the dash. Inside the models or the variants that are lower than the VX, they will be replaced with harder plastics and whatnot. Just means easier to clean. More plush in here, easier to clean in others. Also, inside the VX, it's the only one with a colored TFT screen that is your trip computer. In the rest, it's actually black and white. But you get the same analog gauges. You also, here's the cool part, you also get the exact same 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system across the entire line, which I think is a great plus. It also has Apple and Android capabilities. Now that alone should speak volumes about how Honda wants to treat all its customers as close to as equally as possible. Maybe the difference obviously would be the Honda sensing and small little bits around the automobile and of course the price. But the fact that they've stepped up into the now and the one thing that everybody seems to be looking for, not necessarily me, but everybody seems to be looking for is Apple and Android capabilities in the infotainment, and I'm glad that they've done so. I just wish that it was a little bit less of the piano blacks that you find around. But hey, at least it's not in the areas where the air conditioner is, because this guy you can just operate with one button and then you're done. This is the VX, so you do have cruise control, your audio controls on the steering wheel. On the steering wheel, you know, I've always enjoyed the steering wheels of Hondas. I like the feel. It's just the right size and the leather has always been good. And of course, like I mentioned, the VX is the only one with paddle shifters. You have a power outlet found down here, a USB port, and then something to connect your Android devices or Apple devices to the infotainment system. Kind of a small little cubby hole here. But hey, there are more storage spaces found like the glove compartment and of course more bottle holders on the door. Trims on the door are fine too. That's very nice. And then check this. It is the only car so far that I've seen with not 4 but 6 grab handles inside the automobile. And all the way to the back. You've got grab handles. It's nothing big, yes, definitely. But I've never seen that before. What I have seen before is the engine, and I know that we've shown that to you. What we haven't shown you yet is actually the prices of these automobiles. So let's get to that right now. The 2022 BRV starts at just 1,090,000 Philippine pesos, but that's for the base model, the manual transmission. This CVT comes in at 1,150,000 Philippine pesos. The V comes in at 1,295,000 Philippine pesos. That's for that guy. This VX, however, this comes in at 1,390,000 Philippine pesos. And then you got to add another 20,000 Philippine pesos if you want the pearl white option, which I got to tell you, looks pretty darn good, and I might actually spring for it. Now, some of you might be thinking that that price is kind of astronomical, but truth be told, that's really the prices of goods nowadays. And if you think about it, that price of 1,390,000 Philippine pesos is actually very close to that of the Expander Cross. And that is a much older automobile. This is actually obviously brand spanking new, and it's got more tech and is definitely safer than the previous model or the previous Expander Cross. Also to add that what's underneath the engine is the most powerful naturally aspirated engine for its class. So there's that to think about. But okay, I'll give it to you guys. I do realize that a lot of you will say that it is quite expensive, and I'm not going to disagree with you. But please let us know in the comments below if you had that kind of a budget, what car exactly would you get? Would you stick with a brand new BRV, or are there other options in mind that you may want to bring to the table? Let us know in the comments below. Do please like and subscribe this channel and our video, of course, because hopefully soon we'll get a chance to take this car out for a test drive, a proper test drive, and get through all the features and whatnot of the automobile and let you guys know how it definitely drives, and of course the fuel efficiency. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe. See you soon.